Last year, the poultry industry had to euthanize millions of turkeys and chickens nationwide because of the bird flu.
That's why you're seeing such expensive eggs when you go to the store now.
Matt Cameron, TWRA's spokesperson, says the bird flu is a problem.
We're obviously concerned with wild bird population.
In January, TWRA found a large number of dead black vultures on Fort Loudon Lake.
We think the vultures are specifically impacted by bird flu because they're so communal and they roost in large flocks together. So there's a lot of contact between those birds, and they are scavengers as well.
And just like with any other flu, this is why they worry.
We're just concerned that it could spread into other bird populations, and it could cause an effect to our songbirds and our game birds, such as wild turkeys.
I asked Cameron if people should be concerned of their own health.
Don't want to cause too much alarm in people, but just once again, just to be aware and try to keep their pets and themselves, safe from it.
Welcome back to Seed Time and Harvest. As you can see, we're no longer in the garden, but we're in the kitchen. Why? Because today we are going to be talking about sprouts. Now, sprouts are very, very beneficial. They're very healthy. It tastes good. You can have it in your salad, on your sandwiches. Not sure about cereal, but you can also put it in your soup. So I'm going to tell you what you need and how to make some delicious sprouts. There are very few things that you need when you're sprouting your seeds. Of course, you're going to need your sprout mix. You want to make sure that you have organic or heirloom sprouts salad mix, or you can just choose an organic variety that they sell at the store. Of course, you don't want to take anything else because you don't want any bad bacteria in what you're going to put inside you. Then we're going to need a wide mouth mason jar. I like the wide mouth mason jars, but if all you have are the regular jars, you can use that. The only problem is it's very hard to get in and out of, and most of the sprouting lids will not fit the regular mouth mason jars. That brings us to our sprouting lid. As you can see, it separates. You have the mesh strainer and the lid to secure it to the top of your jar. If you don't have the sprouting lid, you can also use a cheesecloth. Now they come in many different shapes and sizes. You can cut them to size, or you can let it stay as is. What we're going to use to secure our cheesecloth on our jar is our rubber bands. Now, if you have the wide mouth jar and you have the lid, then you can avoid this step. And I'm going to show you how to get into your sprouts. The first step to making our sprouts is we're going to get our organic seeds. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of seeds into the jar. Now, if you're using the smaller mason jar, put just 1 tablespoon. And if you're not making it for a lot of people, then you can just use 1 tablespoon. Once we have our seeds in our jar, we're going to add some water to this, and we're just going to rinse the seeds. Now, some seeds, you may not be sure of how they were rinsed before or how they were stored. So you're just going to rinse it, secure it with your lid, and this will allow you to drain the water off your seeds. Once you drain that first set of water off your seeds, we're going to put about 2 inches of water over our seeds. And we're going to let that sit on a counter somewhere in your kitchen for at least 6 to 8 hours. So I'm just going to make sure that all the seeds are in the water. Some of them will float. The ones that will float most likely will not germinate, but that's okay because the majority of the seeds will germinate. And that brings me to this seed packet. I like this salad sprout mix from Nature Gym Sprouts. Why? Because I find that it's almost 100% viable in terms of how the seeds will germinate. And it contains organic alfalfa, radish, broccoli, and organic clover. Now, I'm not sure how many of you may know, but broccoli is a superfood. And it's in most of the sprouting mix and is very, very healthy. So If you're choosing a sprouting mix, get one with broccoli. Red clover will give it a little bit of tang, which is also makes it very tasty. Once we have our water soaked seeds for about 6 to 8 hours, I can show you this one that I've had soaking before. You may be able to see the difference in how the seeds, they swell up. So this one was just done. This one has been soaking for 6 to 8 hours. We're gonna pour this seed off, pour the water off the seed. And for the next 3 to 5 days until your seed sprouts, you're gonna follow the same procedure of rinsing, straining. We're gonna rinse our seeds, strain it off. We wanna shake the seed around so that no water remains on the seed. And you're just gonna keep it in a reclined position and let it stay that way for the rest of the time until the seed sprouts. You can use a rack for your jar, or you can just use a plate. Most of us have plates, right? So you just keep it in a plate like this until your seed starts to sprout again. Every day, we're going to rinse, drain, repeat at least twice a day. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm going to put my mason jar in this dark sleeve. You can also get this sleeve on Amazon, and I'll put a link for that as well. Keep your seed reclined for the duration of the time that you're going to be sprouting. The only time you will take it off the reclined position is, remember, twice a day. We're going to rinse, we're going to drain, then of course we will repeat. Follow those steps until your seeds have sprouted. Leave it on your counter on a paper towel or on a tablecloth to allow it to continue to drain. That will allow airflow to go in your jar as well. We will have no rotting of our seeds. Now, if you do not want to get the sleeve and you just have your jar in a container, what you can do is you can put your container in the cupboard and it will get that dark area as well. So just let it stay right there. You close it. The only time you'll take it out, maybe once in the morning, to rinse, drain, repeat, put it back in the cupboard, and then take it out in the evening to follow the same step. Since your seeds are going to be in the cupboard, of course it's going to be dark. There's no light. They're going to be in the sleeves as well. It's not going to look as green and pretty as mine. It's going to be very white, very unattractive. To get it looking this green, you'll remove the sleeve, take it out the cupboard within about 3 to 5 days. Now that time may vary based on where you live. If it's very warm where you live, it may not take that long. But if it's cold, again, we want to encourage you to grow food even in the winter, as it is right now. Growing in the cold, it may take a little bit longer. But being in the kitchen where it's warm, of course, your seeds will germinate. And this is the last step. From here on out, we're not going to rinse, drain, repeat, put it in the cupboard again. What we're going to do is probably once a day, you're going to rinse it, and then you're going to store it in your refrigerator. The seed coats will be at the bottom, so you can either rinse that off as you're using it, as it's very hard to take them out when it's all sprouted. And of course, as I mentioned before, you can put it on soups, you can put it on sandwiches. Not sure about cereal, but if you try it on cereal, let us know in the comments. And again, I thank you so much for being a part of this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And thank you for joining us on Seed Time and Harvest. Until next time, happy planting.